Hello again, basketball fans, and welcome to the SportsEthos NBA show with Rick Kamla. How you doing? We're down the home stretch here, March 17th. The regular season end is very, very near here. The fantasy playoffs are cooking, but this isn't a fantasy show. This is a reality show. Later on today, I'll be on with Aaron Brewski. We'll give you the fantasy goodies. Tonight, I'll be on with Steve Alexander. We will do the same. But this right here is a reality show. We have a huge guest on today, Brendan Haywood, NBA champion, longtime NBA player. You see his work over at NBA TV. One of my dear friends, he plays in my fantasy football league, the Cam Dynasty NFL, and he has won a championship in that league, as have I. But he's a stud, super fun guy, and in about 20 minutes we'll have him on, and we'll have a lot of laughs with the great Brendan Haywood. So, guys, we've got everything going for you here. We got the Cameo of the Week. We got Rick's Rant. We got the Award Watch. We've got our awesome sponsor, BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025 and to get all the madness. They've got a $200,000 bracket tournament that we want you guys to get involved in. And whether you're a first-time fan, a seasoned bettor, it doesn't matter, okay? BetOnline's got you covered. They're your ultimate game day companion. They've got the largest selection of odds in everything from the NBA and college basketball, the NHL, UFC, and it's going to be going crazy with all the madness, all right? So if you don't have it, get the BetOnline app on your phone, put a little cash in it, and have some fun. They're your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to every Cinderella story, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline. The game starts here. We start by going from the ridiculous to the sublime to the just plain weird. Bobby Marks reported that the Mavericks could potentially forfeit games due to injuries and NBA salary cap rules. Bobby Marks is the man, okay? I'm like, what? I saw this on Twitter. I had to read into it, okay? This is kind of a mind-boggling story, and there's a big payoff here with some takes on these struggling and cursed Dallas Mavericks. It's a very complicated situation, guys. But it basically just involves one game coming up here, Monday, March 24th against Brooklyn, 1 week from today. More on that in a moment. Let's go through the injuries here, okay? Because they are down like to the minimum player of 8 players and that kind of thing. And maybe now they're at 9. But you got Kyrie Irving out for the year. Doc Sky, Omax, Olivier Maxence Prosper out for the year. Dante Exum out for the year. Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, most likely out for the year. Jaden Hardy, Kai Jones, haven't played since March 3rd. Yeah, remember Kai Jones? Yeah, that was cool, wasn't it? That was the one game. That was it, one game, okay? And then you have P.J. Washington. He missed games going back to March 1st, but he did come back over the weekend. And really, like, the Dallas tank was super exposed, right? We don't need to play P.J. Well, yeah, you do, dude. Otherwise, you're going to have to forfeit games. And guess what? Dallas is in 10th place right now. Season ends right now. They're in the play-in tournament, getting mauled by somebody, okay? So P.J. Washington came back. Boom. Hit Philadelphia with 29 and 12. He looked pretty healthy to me. He was shut down, tank style, okay? And all of this stuff forced P.J. Washington back onto the floor. I dig it. I've got P.J. in a couple of very important fantasy leagues. So they've got Brandon Williams right now, Dwight Powell, Klay Thompson, Najee Marshall, Caleb Martin, Max Christie, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Kessler Edwards. Williams and Edwards are two-way players. They are very limited in the amount of time they have left to play in the NBA. Edwards can be active for 3 more games. Williams can be only active for 6 more games, okay? So that's where that week-out game against Brooklyn comes into account. And I'm going to spare you a lot of the gory details here, but the Mavericks are up against the first apron hard cap. They're $51,000 away from that. And so Bobby Marks said, he says, I'll just read it here. I see people talking about, it's a luxury tax issues. The owners don't want to spend. No, there is no exception to be made, Mark said. So the Mavericks have just sort of painted themselves into a corner here. And a little bit, well, a lot of it's bad luck with the injuries and all that kind of stuff. But again, guys, they're cursed. It's the curse of the Luke Bino. Just like Babe Ruth when the Red Sox traded him 100 years ago. It's the same thing. Okay. The Mavericks are the most cursed team I've ever seen. They're the most cursed team I've ever seen. The Red Sox were, but the Red Sox came back against the Yankees and flushed that and then won. I don't know. How many did they win with Big Papi? 3. I don't have that in front of me right now, but multiple championships. Okay, that curse is lifted. The Cubs curse is lifted. Remember the Cubs curse? They got a chip a few years back. Lifted. No more curse. Oh, the Mavericks are deep into the curse right now. Guys, Anthony Davis went down in his first game in a Mavericks uniform. What? Dude, that's a curse, okay? Oh, Davis is super injury prone. Not over the last 2 years he hasn't been, okay? That was the basketball gods going, Anthony, love you, sorry. Boom, we got to send the lightning bolt down. We just do. It's a Nico thing, not a you thing. Sorry you're in the way. It's not personal. It's just basketball god business, okay? Kyrie blows the tire. And he had nothing to do with it. He wasn't even involved in the trade. He was butthurt that they traded Luka, and he blows the tire. And now Kyrie may not even play next year about it. That's me speculating, right? I mean, it's a torn ACL. It's going to take a year. He did it late in the year. I don't know. Is he even a Mav next year? I don't know. Daniel Gafford goes down. I mentioned Exum. These guys are dropping like bowling pins, okay? Nico Harrison will go down as the most infamous and controversial NBA GM of all time. His name will be it already is. But this is not a recency bias thing, okay? Nico's name is going to be a punchline for the rest of our lives. This is going to be a relevant thing for the rest of our lives. They traded Luka, the idiots, the gall. Okay, so the curse of the Luke Bino is in full effect. You could call it the curse of Doey Doncic. Nico Harrison's name will be synonymous with bad trades and bad GM. It will always go back to Nico Harrison. Even people that don't really follow the NBA, a Pat McAfee, right? Does he follow it? Yeah, Shams on. It's football guy, okay? And then he goes at other sports and does his best, okay? I mean, he's a rock star. He's one of the best broadcasters, highest paid guys we got. I'm not taking shots here. I'm just saying. Is the NBA his strength? Hell no, it's not, okay? But even guys like McAfee, it's just Nico is going to come out. Guys that start watching the NBA Christmas, that whole thing. Or radio guys that only start watching the NBA when the playoffs start, right? Even they know to drop the Nico card. Even they know, okay? This is going to rage for years and years. Mavericks fans, I want you to taste that chip from 2011 with Dirk Nowitzki and Jason Terry and all those mercenaries and the great Mark Cuban, okay? Taste it. You're never going to taste that again. You're not. Your team is cursed. You're never going to win a chip again. It's going to be injuries. It's going to be disappointment. Look, Davis has got to ask for a trade. He's got to get up out of there, man. Kyrie's just got to go somewhere else. You got to get out of there. It is literally a burning building. You know the meme on Twitter where the Joker, the Heath Ledger, like the dope Joker, right? He's walking away and all of a sudden, bush, 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 bush. All the buildings are just exploding behind him, right? That's what Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving need to do this summer to the Mavericks. And maybe send a middle finger salute to them while they're out. Klay Thompson needs to ask out, okay? Get me out of here. This is not what I signed up for. Guys, let me blow your minds for a second. Let me blow your minds for a second. I saw this and I was like, no way, okay? And I'm literally don't miss a game, a box score. And I still was like, whoa, okay? The Mavericks are still ahead of the Suns in the standings. Just gonna let that sink in for a minute. The Mavericks are ahead of the Suns in the standings. Does that make any sense to you? Doesn't make any sense to you at all. The Mavericks don't even want to be there. The Mavericks don't even care anymore. They're only playing guys to reach the minimum of 8 guys that under forfeit games. That's all they're doing. They don't care. The Mavericks are 2-8 in their last 10 games, but they still lead the Suns by 1.5 games for the final play-in tournament spot in the West. The Suns have Durant and Booker. They had Beal. He blew a tire. Eye roll. I mean, come on, man. Right now, on paper, the Suns are way better than the Dallas Mavericks. And the Suns absolutely suck, okay? But they're way better than the Mavericks right now as constructed. And they can't topple the Mavericks. It's unbelievable. How pathetic are the Suns that they cannot rise above the most cursed team of all time? Think about that. You're not cursed, you just suck, but you're so bad you can't even rise above the most cursed team of all time. It's unbelievable to me that the Suns are still below Dallas. The NBA has launched an investigation into the 76ers about Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and Paul George, according to Shams. Okay, I'm Rick Kamla, by the way. This is the Sports Ethos NBA show with Rick Kamla. Brendan Haywood, NBA champion. He was on that 2011 Mavericks championship team. I got to write that down. I got to ask him about the Mavs curse. Maybe that's the first question. I don't even know if I had that in the questions for B Wood. I got to get that out. Stuff pops up during the show. Shams said, I'm told the Sixers are another team the NBA has started investigating and looking into. He said, just based on it, you've had Tyrese Maxey miss time, and that we know that Paul George has missed time. I like what the NBA is doing here. They said that they were going to do this, and they're doing it, okay? They said that they were going to sort of police load management and shutdowns and tanking. And that you can't say that and not then do stuff, okay? Launch an investigation. Fine the Utah Jazz $100,000. Is it going to cause gangster Danny Ainge to change anything with how he is deploying his team for the sake of getting Cooper flagged? No. However, the NBA has to do this for optics. And maybe, just maybe, it will get some Utah Jazz veterans on the court here towards the end of the season, all right? It's not going to work in Philadelphia because for every middle finger that the NBA gives to Daryl Morey is going to give them 3 middle fingers back. He literally does not care. The only thing that he cares about right now is being in the bottom 6 so that he does not have to give his first-round pick to the Oklahoma City Thunder, okay? I've said this for weeks. Philadelphia has the most legitimate tank in the NBA right now because they lose a pick if they don't work this out right. Utah's still going to have a high pick. New Orleans is still going to have a high pick. Even if they don't get Cooper flagged, they're not worried about losing their pick right now. So, Philly, get your tank on. I get it. But NBA, get your investigation on. And why don't you throw a little fine at Philadelphia? Just for shits and giggles. Why not, right? They love finding Daryl Morey. They do it a lot. They're very familiar going down that road. Go ahead and do it. And here's the thing. Look, the Maxey thing to me is obviously tanky. I got to give Paul George credit. He's had the knees, had the finger. The guy's been playing hurt, okay? And that's your job. I'm not going to give you extra credit or a cookie or a damn ribbon about it. But he has been dragging injuries through this year. Okay, you want to get him out of the fight. He's consulting with doctors, maybe surgery. Like, okay, it's tanky, but it's not. Like Tyrese Maxey, back injury. Like as soon as, he went out 2 weeks ago with the back end. There he goes, done for the year. Because I knew the situation with the Philadelphia tank. The NBA should fine them $100,000 for not playing Tyrese Maxey. That's some garbage, okay? He should be playing. And you say he's got a back injury. This is what I've said for years. If I'm the NBA, I have an independent doctor, okay, or group of doctors, and I'm going to send them to teams. You're going to get on a plane and fly first class to Philadelphia. I want you to evaluate Tyrese Maxey. You're going to fly to Utah. I want you to evaluate Lauri Markkanen. Okay, bye. Have fun. All expenses paid, and go get the goods on this guy. That's how I would do that. Silver's not going to do that. He's not going to send docs out to teams. But I don't know legally if he has the ability to do that. I haven't read anything that said that he couldn't. It's just kind of going too far. But I would be radical like that. I would get on these teams, man. So the Philadelphia thing with Maxey is very tanky. But I like the fact that, and I said this a couple of years ago on NBA radio, the NBA needs the LMPD, the Load Management Police Department, and to a degree, they have fired that up. Shout out to the Hornets, the Wizards, the Pelicans, and the Raptors because they are not tanking right now. All right, so let's get Brendan Haywood in here, man. We have B Wood, I believe. Is that correct? He is texting me. Oh, not yet. Okay. We'll get B Wood on in just a minute. Okay, so guys, Hornets playing ball, playing bridges, not tanking. Wizards, Poole just hit a game winner at Denver on Saturday. Pelicans playing their guys, although maybe now with Zion out personal, I don't know, maybe they go down the tanky road, but they haven't yet. And the Raptors, they're not playing guys in back-to-backs, Quickly and Barrett and that kind of thing, but Quickly and Barrett should play tonight. And so that's not tanky to me. All right, you're sitting out guys in back-to-backs. It's like that much tanky, but they're playing their guys. The Nets just shut down Cam Thomas. Very tanky move. Sixers, we talked about them, and the Spurs. The De'Aaron Fox surgery before the end of the season. I thought it was tanky as hell. Not mad at him. The season's over, but it was tanky as hell. All right, my Cammy of the week is J.B. Bickerstaff of the Detroit Pistons, their head coach. Let me set this up here. Saturday night in Detroit. SGA goes in there, 48 points. OKC shorthanded. Cade Cunningham gets ejected from the game on some garbage. And this is what J.B. Bickerstaff had to say about the refs after that loss for the Pistons.
Disgusted by the way that game was officiated. The level of disrespect was above and beyond. They have a guy fall down and trip on his own teammate's foot. They review us for a hostile act. They throw an elbow to our chest, neck area. I ask for him, at least take a look at it, right? Just show us the respect to take a look at it, okay? No one would take a look at it, okay? The disrespect has gone far enough, and I'm not gonna allow our guys to be treated the way that they were treated tonight. Okay? I tried to have a conversation with official. The official was arguing with Mark. I say his name one time, and he screams at me and tells me that's enough, right? We understand that we play a style of ball that's physical, it's on the edge, right? I coach my ass off with a passionate way. I'm into the games. Our players are into the games. We understand that, right? But we deserve a level of respect because we're competing our tails off and bringing something positive to this league, right? We're growing young players. Our young players are competing their tail off. The least that they could do is get the same respect that everybody else in this league gets and get refereed the same way that everybody else in this league gets ref. And enough is enough of it. And what you saw tonight was disgusting. It was a disgusting display of disrespect towards our guys and what we're trying to do.
Take that for that. Somewhere David Fizdale is pumping his fist right now. The disrespect has gone far enough. I love you, J.B. Bickerstaff. Detroit was handed out 5 technical fouls in that loss. SGA took 10 free throws. Half of them came off of techs. Cade Cunningham got ejected due to the techs. It appeared that Cunningham was just talking to the refs. The refs explained it after the game. Cunningham was given his first technical for disrespectfully addressing an official with profanity. They swear at you guys all the time, GD, BS, and so, I don't know, sometimes they're just on one. Brian Forte continued, after the free throw for the first technical was shot, Cade continued to use profanity toward the official and received a second technical foul and was ejected. So, look, I want to get back to J.B. Bickerstaff here. He gets the Cammy of the week for several reasons. That right there was a candidate for the soundbite of the year. I can't think of a better one. Maybe Andre's like, oh, this coach blew a gasket 2 months ago. I can't remember. To me, this is at the top right now because he's hitting the podium. He's getting mad. He's using words like disgusted. But I love that he's standing up for his team. Love that, okay? Letting the world know about their identity. We play right up to the line. We're aggressive, okay? So, like, the refs know that going in. The other team knows that going in. His team knows that going in. Like, this is how we play. And if you put that out there, the refs are going to maybe let you get away with more stuff. If you are a physical, you can't go out there and just hand check all over the place, but, some bumping, some grinding. Yeah, they're going to let that go, especially if they know that's your identity. So I love that from from JB Bickerstaff. And on that note, let's bring in my buddy, Brendan Haywood. Andre, we ready to bring him on yet? And this is a good note to do it with. B. Wood, what is happening, my brother?
What's going on? What's going on?
I'm chilling, man. Are you working out right now? Where are you at?
I just finished, man. And so I'm in my man's office at his gym. Man. I just finished. But, I told you I'd be here on time, so I got to be here on time.
Oh, I appreciate you, man. You see his great work and his smiling face and his beautiful suits on NBA TV, NBA champion. B Wood, I was just handing out the cameo of the week to JB Bickerstaff. What did you think about his rant on Saturday after the loss to OKC?
At the end of the day, it's whatever you like. I like JB. I know JB, but I'd rather just leave it alone and let the guys go out there and play and decide it on the court. I've heard a lot of people complain about OKC and SGA and the fouls that he gets. And when you really watch the game to break it down, a lot of fouls that SGA gets are warranted. He's really good at drawing fouls. Probably going to be the MVP this year. So it wasn't that big of a deal to me, but I'm one of those guys that let the players decide and just leave that where it be.
I hear you, and I totally appreciate that. Let's flip it, because I hear you on the foul merchant thing for SGA. It's a tired narrative to me. But did you like JB standing up for his guys and kind of stating to the league the identity of his team and kind of drawing a line in the sand? Did that part hit with you at all, or did that miss with you as well?
Oh, well, I love any coach that stands up for his guys because that will go a long way in the locker room. As a player, when your coach is willing to go the extra mile for you, maybe get fined for you, just letting you know that your coach has your back, that means a lot. It means a lot. And it'll mean a lot in that locker room, too. As a coach, you got to be loved or respected, sometimes both. And I think JB did a good job of gaining both of those with those statements.
Sorry, a little mute action there. It is the Sports Ethos NBA show with Rick Kamla, NBA champion Brendan Haywood hanging out with me. Brendan, I was talking about the Mavericks earlier, the team with which you won a chip back in 2011. And I told Mavs fans, keep that champagne taste in your mouth because it ain't happening. This team is now cursed, B. Wood. Davis gets hurt in his first game in that uniform. All the guys dropping like flies. They're up against not even be able to field a lineup in forfeiting games. Is the team that you won that chip with cursed, or you're not buying that?
With what team cursed?
The Dallas Mavericks. The
team
curse of the Luke Bino.
Oh, I'm not sure if they're cursed, but I will say this. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong this year. You do the Luka trade, and then, like you said, 80 only plays a half. You trade Quentin Grimes, now he's in Philly going off. You got the Kyrie injury and all the rest of the injuries, and it's just a team that we probably thought was, at the beginning of the year, one of the best teams in the Western Conference is now going to be a team that's going to be that's not going to make the playoffs, and it's not even going to be considerably close. So it's been unfortunate. I don't know if they're cursed, but it's been a lot of unfortunate incidents that have happened to these Dallas Mavericks this season.
So let me blow your mind here, B. Wood. And I'm sure you know this, but prepping for the show, I looked at this and I was like, my God, you've got to be kidding me. Dude, the Dallas Mavericks are still in 10th place right now. Okay, they're 2-8 in their last 10 games. Not really trying too hard to win right now, right? Just putting guys out there going through the motions, knowing that the guillotine is going to fall on them. Brendan Haywood, did you know that the Phoenix Suns, who are trying to win, are still a game and a half behind the Dallas Mavericks?
I did know that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's not looking good for Phoenix. The experiment that they tried didn't work. And this is one of those situations where you have to look at, for all people that will ever become new owners in the NBA, I have a template that you should follow. Don't try to come in and immediately win a championship. Every time an owner, whether we go back to when the Brooklyn Nets tried it, when an owner walks in and thinks, I got it, I know more than y'all, I'm going to do this mega move and flip a switch and win a title, it never works out. KD's a great player, but even KD said it himself, they probably gave up too much for him when you look at giving up Johnson and Bridges plus all the picks. Now you don't have the supplementary pieces that you need to go to build a championship team around KD and Book. The Bradley Beal deal, they doubled down. The Bradley Beal deal has not worked out. Never really understood that one. I watched that Denver team play. I watched that Suns team play Denver really close the year that Denver won a championship. And I'd never left that series thinking to myself, you know what they need? One more mid-range score. That's not what I thought about when I thought about that series. So the Bradley Beal situation didn't work out. You took on the no trade clause, and right now Phoenix doesn't have a lot of draft capital, not a lot of young guys to develop on that bench. KD probably out this offseason, and they're not going to be able to move Bradley Beal based on the money and the no trade clause. So they're in a really tough spot for the next couple of seasons.
Yes, they most certainly are. B Wood, I said a lot of that stuff on NBA radio. Didn't like the Beal trade. I know that, you look at his resume to what they gave up, and that kind of made sense. Just the fit of him with that team did not make sense at all. Again, a game and a half behind the Mavericks is just unconscionable right now. Let me bring you into the B Wood, at least vicariously here, the beef between Karl Anthony Towns and Draymond Green. What was said back and forth going in, Draymond being wrong about, hey, he's ducking Butler, and it happened to be somebody ill around the Towns family. And then the game on Saturday night, a win for the Dubs. Knicks players are dapping up, or at least receiving dap from Draymond after the game. What's your take on all that, man? Should the Knicks have all left in solidarity with Cat, or were you okay with them out on the court giving Draymond a quick hug?
You know what, man? Teams are different because everybody vibes with everybody differently. Like, teams are real cliquish. So some of the guys that maybe know Draymond, have history with Draymond, they're not in that beef, or they might not even be that close with Cat. So I don't have a problem with some of the guys giving Draymond dap or talking to him after the game, because they might even have a stronger relationship with Draymond than they do Cat. Teams, like I said, just because you played with somebody, that doesn't mean that y'all are tight. There's guys that I played with that were my friends. There were other guys that I played with that were just my coworkers, and there's a difference. So I don't know who's who in that situation. I don't really have a problem with it. I thought Karl Anthony Towns did represent himself well, though, after Draymond did all that talking, because he did have like 29 and 12, even though they didn't win.
He did, and Draymond had a low-dough line, but they won the game. All right, B Wood, I want to ask you a question, because this is something that I've theorized, but obviously, B Wood, I'm in my lane and you're in the ball player lane, okay? So this is one of those things I can't really relate to. It seems like the teams that have the love fest, the connection with the city, the building, and it's just love, 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 love all over the place, right? And then you think about like the Clippers, right? When they had Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, kind of icy. I did an interview with Maurice Spates. He said, we had a love fest with Golden State. It really helped us. We did not have a love fest with the Clippers. Everybody went their separate ways, and the team never could really get over the hump. How much value do you put in that love fest? Or do you believe, you don't need to love anybody at all to go win a championship?
I believe there's a bunch of different ways to win championships. What you really want is a strong culture. Everybody understands what they're there to do. They get in line with the culture of work ethic. And then there's a respect factor. You don't have, I won a championship in 2011. Everybody on that team wasn't close. We didn't have enemies, but we had different guys. Hey, certain guys, they like to gamble. Other guys, they like to play video games. Those guys hung together. Other guys, they like to go out in the city. Whatever it is, you don't always have to love each other. That's great if it's like a big college fraternity. That's great. But to win a championship, you don't have to have that. But what you have to have is a culture of this is how we work every single day, and respect. You got to have the respect factor. Hey, I can go tell you something that you don't want to hear, and you'll receive it because you know that, hey, I'm trying to win. And sometimes that can come off a little tough, but you have to have that respect factor. That's one thing in 2011 we did have. Everybody had that respect. There were times where Jason Terry and J.J. Barea, they would disagree on how certain things were supposed to go with that second unit. But guess what? It was from a place of respect, so it was never a problem. It was never a fight. So do you have to love each other? No, that's great. It's great if we all love each other. But what you do have to have is a strong culture and mutual respect.
P. Wood, are the Golden State Warriors, who pretty much win every game with Jimmy Butler in the lineup, 14-1 with Butler in the lineup, are they for real?
Yes. They're definitely for real. First and foremost, they have Steph Curry. Second of all, they believe that they can win. They believe. And Draymond spoke about that. They didn't all the way believe they could win at the beginning of the season. And as a player, you know when you have a championship level team and you know when you don't. At the beginning of the year, they knew they didn't have a championship level team. Jimmy Butler brings confidence. Jimmy Butler brings a secondary scorer. Jimmy Butler brings a playmaker that can take Steph off the ball, allow him to work off the ball. And last but not least, Jimmy Butler brings somebody that can get to the free throw line, something that the Golden State Warriors did not do before he got there. So I definitely think this is a scary team. I think that they can make a playoff run. And with the seeding the way it is, you never, like the seeding sliding every day, you never know who's going to play what. And I would not want to be playing the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry in the first round of a playoff tournament with Jimmy Butler, because we've seen Jimmy Butler drag some really just average teams to the NBA Finals in Miami. Some of those teams got injured. Some of those teams didn't have the household names, and he was able to take those guys to the NBA Finals twice. So you know what Jimmy Butler and we know what Steph Curry is capable of.
The great Brendan Haywood, you check him out on NBA TV. Let's flip it to the Knicks. Are they deep enough? Let me just ask you this. Knicks against Boston in a 7-game series. Knicks against Cleveland in a 7-game series. And let's assume all of these teams are healthy, okay? Do you like the Knicks to beat either of those teams in a playoff series?
No. Boston is probably one of the most versatile teams that we have in this league. Multiple defenders, multiple scorers. They even have guys that can drop 40 coming off the bench. So, no, give me Boston. Cleveland, I like what they're doing. Probably the best backcourt in the league right now. I love the double big lineup and how they're playing together. Got DeAndre Hunter at the trade deadline. That's going to be huge for them. So, and then more importantly, the Knicks haven't proven that they can beat the upper echelon teams this year. They're old. They haven't beat those teams. So for me, I like the Knicks. Do they have the depth? We'll never know because Tibbs won't play those guys. We'll never know if they have the depth, because no matter where Tibbs goes, he's going to play his starters 37 to 40 minutes, and that doesn't matter if he's in New York, Minnesota, Chicago. He's going to play his starters, and the subs are going to get whatever they get, and that's not really a recipe for success if you ask me. I think it's a long season, and you need to develop your bench, because in the playoffs, you need bench guys. You know, you need a guy to come off the bench and maybe have 17 points for the game, and he's not a star, but he helps you win that game. You need those guys. You can't win with just your starters being forced to do everything. So I like the Knicks' talent, but I don't think they're better than Boston or Cleveland in a 7-game series right now.
Spicy question alert, B. Wood.
Hope I got a good answer.
Is Cleveland your pick to win the East and go to the finals? Are you believing in the Cavaliers to that degree?
I believe in the Cavs, but my number one team is the Boston Celtics. And a lot of that comes down to just the overall defensive size they have. If Cleveland plays Boston in a 7-game series, my question for Cleveland is, how are they going to hide Darius Garland? If you really watch those games, when it gets close down the stretch, they run pick and rolls with Tatum and Garland. They force Garland to switch off on Tatum. They post them up and they either get fouled or they force double teams and they spray it out to the 3-point line. I'm not sure how Cleveland will combat that. So because of that, I got Boston.
B. Wood, any doubt in your mind that OKC wins the West and goes to the finals? Any doubt?
Yes, a lot of doubt. The West is incredibly deep. OKC is young. Jalen Williams is hurt right now, but we expect him to be back. But with these young guys, we haven't seen it yet. When you go back and think about last year in the playoffs in that Dallas series, Jalen Williams wasn't that true secondary star. Now, I know he has that ability, but he has to show it. SGA is a dog. SGA is going to get his points. He's going to score 30+. But when you get into the playoffs, they're going to start throwing all types of doubles and triple teams at this guy. And Jalen Williams is going to have to be that true secondary superstar. Most of the time when you win a championship, there's another guy on your team that has those moments. If you think of when the Bucks won it, it was Chris Middleton. He was that second guy. You don't have to average 27, but you got to come out here and have those 27, 26-point performances. Think about Denver. Jamal Murray had those big-time games, those clutch shots. Your secondary guy has to be able to step up and have big-time moments in the playoffs. and I'll be waiting to see, can Jalen Williams do that this year? Once he proves that, then it's OKC to the moon.
I love it. Great analysis, man. B. Wood, I miss you, my brother. I want to give you a compliment, man. I love your game analysis. I love it. I love your studio analysis, but you're so real on the games, B. Wood. You've got clever sayings. You've got the great nitty gritty like in-game analysis at like not just a ball player level, but a coaching level as well. How much of that have you done this year with NBA TV, and how much are you loving being in the arena doing these play-by-plays?
Man, I love doing games. I mean, I do in-studio work too, but games is really my passion. I love being at the games, just feeling the energy in the building. I can't play anymore, but I love walking in that building and feeling the energy in there when the guys get ready to step out there on the court. And then I like breaking down the game in my fashion. You know, I like talking about what I see, what's happening on the weak side, not just focusing on the ball. What I would do in certain situations, coming out of timeouts, and maybe see if the coach sees the game the same way I do. So I love doing that. I have fun doing it. I'm glad that you enjoy it. I've done a couple of games this year for NBA TV. I'm actually doing the NCAA tournament, so I got some tournament games. I'm in the I'll be in Denver for that. So I'm actually about to go home and start studying up on the teams that I have. And then my next game for NBA would actually be the Memphis Grizzlies Boston Celtics game on TNT, and that's on the 31st of March.
Is DZ 3D Dennis Scott going to be there with you for that game? Because those are my personal faves. When DZ's on the sideline, when you're when you got the headset on and you're over there with the play-by-play guy, are you working with DZ that night?
I don't know. I haven't seen if he's going to be working with me or not, but I hope so because 3D is my guy, aka the king of Shooter's Paradise.
That's my guy, man. You're my guys. So how are you liking your heels? One more here, B. Wood, and we'll let you go. How are you liking your heels heading into March Madness, and who do you think's going to cut down the nets?
Wow,
big question, and he froze. Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Am I good?
You just froze. Please give me that answer again.
Oh, man, I'm glad my heels got in. It was a little dicey. A lot of people didn't think we should have got in, but I'm glad that we're there nonetheless. The team that I like the most right now, though, is Florida. Florida, man, they have good guards. They have bigs. They have bigs that can shoot, bigs that can dominate inside. They have depth. You just watched them in the SEC tournament. They were systematically just taking teams apart. So I really like Florida right now. My theme for the tournament is going to be defense. It's going to be the elite defensive teams because the elite defensive teams this year have multiple guys that can score. When you talk about a Duke, and it's like, yeah, they play defense, but you got Cooper Flagg, you got Proctor, Knuppel, you got those guys, and then you got a team like Florida, their backcourt, their defense too. So I like those type of teams. Auburn, of course, Houston, all the number one seeds, I guess, but Tennessee. This year, I like Lanier, what he can do for them, averaging like 18 a game, really nice shooter. So that's my theme is going to be defense, but I like Florida right now. They kind of remind me of what UConn has been the last 2 years.
I love it, dude. I love it. What play-by-play man or woman are you working with on those tourney games?
I'm with the legend. Brad Nessler.
You're with Brad Nessler?
Me and Brad. Yeah, I'm with the legend, Brad Nessler.
Come on,
man. Don't get
man.
And Dana Jacobson on the sideline. It don't get
Come
no better
on,
than
man.
it. Doesn't get any better than that crew.
No, it
man.
doesn't. No, it doesn't. That's.
And
I'm gonna be looking. I don't even care what games it is. I'm just looking for the B Wood games, man, and I'll be watching. B Wood, you the man. I love you, dude. You're going down in the Cam Dynasty NFL. I can tell you that. Are you going to get out of the tank and try to win again this year? Was that just a 1-year tank last year?
One year tank this year. I'm taking Ashton Jeanty #1. So just so you know, I'm gonna take Ashton Jeanty #1, and I'm gonna build my team. I got a bunch of wide receivers. I'm gonna build my team up, get some running backs, some quarterback, and I'll be back in the championship because I think I won the championship 2 years ago. I think I did. Yes. So 2 years ago I won the championship. We coming back for it again.
It was a very wise tank by you because B Wood spotted early. This ain't happening. Mm-hmm. Made a couple of trades, got some picks, and bottomed out. Now he's got the #1 pick, and he's going to get one of the best running back prospects in the last generation. B Wood, you the man. Safe travels, my friend. We'll be in touch, and God bless you and your family, man.
All right, man. Thanks for having me, Cam. Appreciate you.
That is the great Brendan Haywood right there. That was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Okay. My guy's doing tournament games. I've seen him do tournament games before, but somehow that slipped my mind. Probably because I'm just locked in on the orange of our beloved NBA. This is the Sports Ethos NBA show with Rick Kamla. Big thanks once again to Brendan Haywood for dropping by. I want to sort of complete the JB Bickerstaff thought that I was on. Just a couple more thoughts here to get back to the Cammy of the week, which is JB Bickerstaff. He's not going to win the Coach of the Year award. He's not. Kenny Atkinson's going to win the Coach of the Year award. So at least, JB, you got this. You got the Cammy of the week. Andre Lamouche, could we create like a little trophy and send it to JB and say, hey, put this in your office little display case or whatever. Go ahead. You got the Cammy of the week. But he's literally like performing a low-key miracle here. Detroit is 37-31 this year. Guys, they're 6 games over 500. They're in 6th place right now. They would play the Knicks right now in a first-round playoff series. I know, it's exciting stuff. They were dead last in the league a year ago. JB, in most years, you would be the runaway Coach of the Year. You'd be a minus 1,000 right now on the betting board, okay? This is not that year. Kenny Atkinson, what did they win? Start the season 15-0? Feels like 3 years ago. But, I mean, I didn't put it to bed. Like, I got to see all 82, but, like, it was like, Kenny Atkinson. That's a big lead for Coach of the Year here. Winning his first 15 games, and obviously they're still a half game up on OKC for the best record in the league. It is time for Rick's Rant. How in the hell are several members of the Knicks dapping up Draymond after what he said about Cat going into Saturday's win by the Dubs? How? B. Wood said what he said. Totally respect it. I just have a different view on this. I wasn't happy with it. Let's back up. Karl Anthony Towns misses the March 4th game against the Dubs at, I believe it was at the Garden. Yeah, it was. And so 114-102. And Cat, there was some mix-up and then personal reasons, and he missed the game. His girlfriend, Jordan Woods, posted a message on social media that said, F cancer after that. Draymond Green said later on his podcast, before the real reason for the Cat DNP came out, that Cat was ducking Jimmy Butler. A classless piece of audio here. I'll read it to you. He said, that was a big game for us. And obviously, they ain't have Cat. Some would say he didn't play because Jimmy was in the building. I don't know. He said, I saw Cat's pops at the game yesterday. I got incredible love for the OG. His pops is an incredible man. But yeah, they say Cat didn't play because Jimmy came into town. You know, him and Jimmy had the infamous practice in Minnesota. And then he says, I don't know what was hurt. I didn't look that deep into to figure it out, what kind of injury it was or nothing like that. Well, Draymond, you host a podcast. It's your job to look into that kind of stuff. Like, if you're just a ball player who's not a member of the media, you're right. You don't need to know that. Oh, Cat's out tonight. What is it? Ankle, groin? I don't care. He's out. You shouldn't care at that point. You don't have to. You're in the media, Draymond, but see, you're new media. And new media doesn't care about these little details like crushing a guy I learned a long time ago, and not the hard way. Like, when it's personal reasons, it's hands off, dude. It's hands off. You don't know if, think about the Andrew Wiggins thing with his dad, right? Okay. Like, he was gone, huge mystery, right? And then it comes out, there's an illness in the family. Okay. And then it's like, oh, yeah, I get it. No, there should not be that. Personal means get the bleep out, give this person some privacy. He's got to figure it out, okay? A lot of times personal is the birth of a child, right? It's a family thing. Guys, do we ever call out of work due to a family thing? Do we ever call out of work because we have an ear infection, we need to go to the doc and get antibiotics? I mean, stuff happens, man. So it's just classless by Draymond to say that. Cat addressed the media later saying they always question how your knees feel and all that, but they never question how you're doing. So this is one of those moments where I had to be there with my family, be there for the kids that lost somebody really special to them because they did lose that close family friend. Kat said, I don't really want to talk about it, but I do appreciate the organization, my teammates for giving me so much grace and support through the time when I really needed it. I really appreciate that a lot to allow me to go through what I got to go through. Grace, key word there, okay? When you're going through something, you get grace, which means you don't get clobbered and they bring up old stuff about you that has no connection at all. And if Draymond Green had been paying any attention to Karl Anthony Towns at all, okay? Because if in previous years you want to question his heart, you want to question his motor, you want to question his ability to fight through injuries, cool, I'm with you. This year has been different, and we have noticed it and talked about it all year long, okay? Cat has been a barking Rottweiler at Madison Square Garden. He has fought back to get back from illness and injury a lot quicker than I have ever seen him do, okay? So I've been impressed with the body of work from Cat, very high in the MVP list. Where are you on the MVP list, Draymond? Draymond gave a half-ass apology. Check this out. Also with 2 plugs for his show. When he heard about, Cat and the losing a close family friend, he said, "Oh man, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks." Wow, that's some real contrition there. He said, "My comments that I made was that what I heard was." See, now Draymond, new media is trying to hide behind his words. No, dude, you called out Cat for ducking your team because Jimmy Butler was in the building. That's what you did. Don't hide behind, well, I was just passing along until I got from somebody else. That's bullcrap, Draymond. You're lying, and we all know it. We all know it. Just own it, dude. Man, I didn't know the whole story there. I'm super sorry, and just leave it at that. He goes on, my comments that I made was that what I heard was, and that's what I heard. So I do send my well wishes to him and his family. We all experience death in one way or the other. Bro, you don't say that. You don't say that. You're like watering it down. Oh, it's just a death. We all go through passings in our family. It's so insensitive, bro. And he says, and we all experience it the same way one day. What? Oh, we're all going to die? Oh my God. He said, it's so unfortunate. You never wish that on anybody, of course. But this is very, he said, but the Draymond Green show with Baron Davis must go on. What is wrong with you, dude? Like, what is wrong with you? Just make an apology. Yo, my bad. I didn't know somebody died close to him. Wow, that sucks. Heartfelt condolences. And move on. And move on. He said, I definitely wish them well and wish their family well. We all go through that, and it's never easy for anyone. But the Draymond Green show with Baron Davis will go on. Said it twice. Okay? Guys, it's classless behavior by Draymond Green. But what did you expect? This is what the most controversial villain in NBA history does. I mean, chokes dudes out on the basketball court. What can I tell you? Okay? He acts like a ruthless bully because he is a ruthless bully and a dynastic 4-ring future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest role players the NBA has ever seen. I have a ton of appreciation and respect and admiration for Draymond Green. 2nd round pick, to all the money he's made, all the fame. I mean, it's an awesome story. And he's probably a better guy than all this public stuff portrays. But this is what we see. This is what we evaluate, okay? But you must stand up to the bully or get humiliated by the bully over and over again. And Cat certainly did that. He had 29 and 12 in that game. They were bumping and grinding and battling the whole game. But I didn't like afterward that OG Anunoby hugged Draymond. Tibbs hugged him and had a little smile. Precious Achiuwa acted like he didn't really want it, and then kind of Draymond pulled him into it. And then Mikal Bridges. Like, you guys should have just walked off the court, to me. After Draymond said all of this stuff about Cat, super insensitive and just stupid, and then you're out there dapping him after he beats you? Bro, come on, man. We got to have some Isaiah and the Pistons getting up and leaving around here. Oh, it was so classless when they did that. No, it wasn't. It was hatred, bro. I'm giving them any dap. I'm out of here. That's how it should have gone for the New York Knicks. We need more old school in the world today, man. No, we don't. Old school. No. Huh. No. We need more old school in this game and in this life right now in 2025. Respect to Mitchell Robinson. He walked out with Karl Anthony Towns. Draymond Green said postgame, good to see Cat show up and play like that. Insert sarcasm here. Probably the most physical I've ever seen. Extra motivation. Saw his answer to y'all. Fed into what everybody was saying. If it forces a guy to play hard, great. I ain't never seen him willing to talk. Fun. Had a really good game. All right, so are the Knicks screwed? I believe they are. Jalen Brunson's out another 1 to 2 weeks. We are at March 17th right now. They're talking early April, which means right up against the end of the regular season, maybe a couple of tune-ups if they're lucky. The Knicks were thin even with a healthy Jalen Brunson. He needs to be cooking by playoff time. I'm not sure that the calendar is going to allow that. The Knicks don't have enough firepower to hang with Boston and Cleveland. They don't. Are we sure the Knicks are going to beat the Pistons in a 3-6 series in the first round if that's how that goes down? I'm pretty sure. I would pick the New York Knicks, assuming Brunson's there in some way, shape, or form, because of the experience. The experience is so critical in the playoffs. Detroit hasn't been there yet. But a matchup for the Knicks looms with the Boston Celtics in round 2. Because if you are in the 2 or 3 hole, 2 will play 7, 3 will play 6. The winners then will play each other, okay? And they don't reseed. It's bracketed. So 2 and 3 are on a collision course. 2 and 3 is Boston and New York. Second round, bye-bye, Knicks. Bye-bye. It ain't happening. Are the Dubs for real? Brendan Haywood said they are. I don't agree. I do not agree. The Golden State Warriors are 14-1 with Jimmy Butler in the lineup. They are 15-2 in their last 17 games. I don't trust Jimmy Butler. I don't trust him because he's wishy-washy, kind of full of crap right now, and older, injury-prone. Can you muster up a playoff run like you did a couple years ago in Miami when you buzzsawed through the East and then obviously lost to Denver? You have another one of those in you. You've already had 2 of those shocking out-of-nowhere finals runs in you. Do you have another? I'm going to bet against that, folks. Jimmy Butler believes in the switch, and I don't like this switch. Jimmy Butler sat on his scoring after the victory over New York. When it's my time, you'll know it's my time. I roll. Until then, I'm going to pass the ball to the open man, get my guys some jumpers. Your guys, huh? Oh, it's your team now, Jimmy. Get them out in transition, and we're going to keep winning. Okay, but Jimmy's seeing the playoffs. When they're going to need 20 to 25 from you, are you going to be able to just flip that switch? Or is it going to be 3:30 in the morning, you're stumbling to the bathroom, and you just can't find the switch? I don't know. Nikola Jokic doesn't believe in the switch. This is what he said about the switch over the weekend. I think you are in the regular season. That's who you are in the playoffs. I think you cannot flip a switch. Amen, Joker. Amen. Guys, let's look at this picture right here. Jimmy Butler believes in the switch. No rings. Nikola Jokic over here doesn't believe in the switch. Got a ring. And 3 MVPs. Big difference there. You can't turn it on and turn it off. Draymond Green doesn't turn it on and turn it off. Full blast all the time. That's how it should be. It shouldn't be, oh, we're playing Charlotte tonight, I'm going to power down. No, drill Charlotte. Take their fucking head off, okay? Don't go through the motions and set up Moses Moody for jumpers. Are you freaking kidding? He's so full of crap. He is. The Dubs are cooking with Butler. The trade worked. I give them all credit. But this feels like regular season fool's gold to me, okay? They're not rekindling dynasties. Steph isn't going to win number 5 and join Magic and Duncan and Kobe. Jimmy ain't going to remove himself from the list of best players never to win a championship. Is he even on that list? None of that is happening. Even with all of this winning, folks, the mediocre Warriors are still in 6th place. They're 3.5 games out of 2nd place. After all this winning, what has it really meant? Ooh, they went from 9th to 6th. Woo! You get to miss out on the play-in tournament and then get beat. They may miss the fading Lakers. They may pass, the fading Lakers into 5th. They will not ascend higher than that. Right now, in 6th place, the Golden State Warriors would play the Denver Nuggets in the first round. Thanks for coming out. You might get a couple of games in that series. If they get to number 5 in the standings, okay, then you'd be in the 4-5 first round series. Second round, you would play number 1, OKC. Buzzkill. But would you even beat Memphis in the first round? I might pick Golden State to beat Memphis in the first round. I might do that based on inexperience versus experience. I might pick Golden State in that series. Not with a ton of confidence. I certainly wouldn't bet on it. But I tell you what, second round, bye-bye to OKC. And if they get the Nuggets in the first round, they go and bye-bye. Time for my award watch of this week, and we are down the home stretch here, folks. We've gone through all of the awards so far, so let me recap here, and I'll give you another little bite on MVP. Defensive Player of the Year for me is Dyson Daniels. Sixth Man of the Year for me is Malik Beasley. Rookie of the Year is Stephon Castle. Coach of the Year is Kenny Atkinson. Most Improved Player is Cade Cunningham. The MVP is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's also going to win his first scoring title, okay? He's number 2 on my Defensive Player of the Year list behind Dyson. He is flirting with a 50-40-90. He is 52, 37, 90 in the 3 shooting splits. He's authoring up career highs in threes made, scoring, assisting, and shot blocking. His stat line is 33, 5, and 6, 1 block, 1.8 steals, 2.23 balls. It's a Michael Jordan stat line. Jokic has a Jokic stat line. 29 and 13, 10.3 dimes, 0.7 blocks, 1.8 steals. Same number as SGA, which is impressive on the Jokic side. He's at 1.9 threes, another very impressive number for a center, shooting 41% from 3, a career high. He is 57% overall and 81 from the line. This is one of the best MVP races of all time. Nikola Jokic should be winning his 4th MVP in 5 years. That's how this should be going. But like we talked about with JB Bickerstaff, he should be winning Coach of the Year this year. But he's not, because there's an unbelievable act of God going on in Cleveland right now. And there's an unbelievable act of God going on right now in Oklahoma City with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It would take a Herculean performance from another planet to top Jokic for MVP. And that's what SGA has done, okay? OKC has a 13-game lead over the rest of the West. 13 games. Are you talking about that enough? Is that a part of your conversation and MVP narrative? It needs to be. That's a gargantuan, Grand Canyon-esque divide. Jokic averaging a triple-double, as much weight as I put into that stat, and I do, does not overcome the stats that SGA is putting up plus the 13-game bulge in the standings. It just does not, okay? OKC is on pace to win 68 games. They're a half game behind Cleveland, and I have a prediction for you, and I've already said this. SGA is going to get the triple crown this year. He is going to win regular season MVP, finals MVP, and also get the ring. It's all happening this year. Couple of shout outs before we get out here. Ben Simmons announced his return to Team Australia for the 2028 Olympics in LA. He said, if I'm healthy and I'm good to go, then I'll definitely be there. So that report means nothing. He put an if in there. He didn't say, oh, I'll be there. Like, just say I'm on the team. If you're hurt, then you're on the team and you don't play. Okay? Oh, Australia's a really good national team, right? So they probably would want to replace him at that point. But that report means nothing. If I'm healthy and I'm good to go, when in the hell are you ever healthy and good to go, bro? Especially in the summertime when you have ducked Team Australia your entire career, which has always bothered me, by the way. Go get some confidence. Like Josh Giddey did last year in the Olympics with Australia. Bam, he's having a career year this year. It worked for him. And are we going to get LeBron James back this week? He missed the Lakers game in Denver because of a groin injury, but he was moving fine at Bryce's state title game and all that kind of stuff. He might come back this week, but it's probably another week out of the lineup for LeBron James here, according to Shams Charania. So probably not going to get LeBron back this week. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the Sports Ethos NBA show with Rick Kamla podcast. Please give us a thumbs up. Leave us a 5-star review. Go over to sportsethos.com as well and pick up a subscription over there. Get the fantasy passes. Check out the MLB draft guide. It's MLB fantasy draft season right now, so we got you covered over there. I'm going to be on with Aaron Brewski live fantasy style a little bit later today in the 12:30 to maybe 1 p.m. window. Tonight, midnight, I'll be back on with Dr. Dray here. We're breaking down a huge Monday night slate from the fantasy perspective. Big thanks to Brendan Haywood for dropping by. Big thanks to our great producer, Andre Lemouche, and all of you for watching. Please retweet this. Tell people that Rick Kamla's got a kick-ass NBA show over at Sports Ethos, and let's blow this thing up. Thank you all very, very much. We will see you next week on the Sports Ethos NBA show with Rick Kamla. This episode's been brought to you by Bet Online.